wanted to hear your guys' opinion on do you think they deserve to be in there, and can you vote in one without the other? So can you put in Alex Rodriguez but not Barry Bonds, or vice versa?
So if you're gonna do one, you have to do them both.
Right.
And I think we need to be real at this point. We already have racist, wife beaters, cheaters, gamblers, all these types of people in the Hall of Fame, right? Like we
Right.
forget that we already allowed a lot of these type of players in. And not only that, you have Bud Selig who oversaw the whole steroid era. He's in the Hall of Fame. So we got to stop treating the Hall of Fame as like this righteous cathedral of only holy good people. And it's time that we let these type of people in. During the steroid era, there was everybody was on steroids, not just these two guys, right? They were just a product of their environment.
I'd say
So
like
I say you let them in.
I
Hot
agree.
dog vendors run pumping the juice.
Hell
Here's a
yeah,
hot
they
dog.
were.
Yo,
Throwing peanuts on.
this dude's throwing glizzies crazy fast. But I would say I agree with Shy. However, my only issue with this is A-Rod should not get in first ballot. My reason being, right? Yes, he's a great player. Yes, we know the history. However, he lied. And that's my issue with A-Rod. He lied so many damn times. Like, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Bonds lied too. Bonds didn't say anything.
Bond's never been caught. Like
Yeah.
A-Rod's been caught.
Big difference. Bonds didn't say anything. Bonds let you just assume what you wanted to assume, right? My issue with A-Rod is that he lied several times, got caught several times, right? But then also like there's a great like YouTube little doc on this. It's from the channel Baseball Doesn't Exist, so shout out to them. They do really good work, but they kind of went over Alex Rodriguez's career, and A-Rod would do things like tell other opposing shortstops, like he would tell them pitches while he was on shortstop in hopes that they would return the favor when he was up to bat.
League. An anonymous teammate told reporter Selena Roberts that A-Rod would tip pitches to the other team during blowouts in order to get the same treatment when he came to the plate. When another shortstop or second baseman came to the plate, A-Rod apparently would use subtle motions like touching his glove or leaning left to right to tell the opposing team's batter what pitch was coming and where it would be located. When A-Rod got to the plate in his next at-bat, they would do the same thing for him.
Stuff like that, to me, that's like, come on, fam. Like, you're already good enough.
Yeah.
Like, so now you need to know exactly, yo, tell me. So when I'm going to tell me what pitch is coming. That's my only issue. I'm not saying that he's not a great player. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get in, just not first ballot. On the flip side, Bonds should have been in years ago. Last year, he got 61.8% of the vote, right? And I've been saying this ad nauseum every time someone brings up Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame. He was a Hall of Famer before the steroids. All right. He was arguably, if there's no Ken Griffey Jr. for like the 90s, it's Barry Bonds. Like, he was that good. And then steroids did whatever they did. But like I always say, look at his numbers. Steroids do not help your eyes. They do not help hand-eye coordination. His on-base percentage is like, what, 02, 03, 04, 05. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, steroids don't help that. The man, to me, he has the greatest eye I've ever seen a baseball player have. Like, literally, he wouldn't swing at anything that wasn't a strike. It was rare when he was ever fooled. You couldn't throw a fastball by him. Like, dude was legit. Steroids, at most, with him, probably kept him on the field. Because the bigger he got, he should have, got more injury prone. He did have some injuries, but he probably recovered at a crazy rate because of the steroids. But other than that, we need to stop, like Shai was saying, we got to stop acting like, all these players, like, oh, everyone who's a Hall of Famer is clean. I don't know. Like, a good percentage of them aren't. One. Two, Hall of Fame is invalid to me until they put Pete Rose in. I don't give a damn. Now we're sitting here talking about Pete Rose is still out, and there's all playoffs. We had freaking DraftKings at the bottom
Exactly.
like, what are you talking about at this point, right? So Pete Rose is gonna probably die, sadly, not a Hall of Famer, which sucks. And then of course once he dies, they're gonna say, you know what? Let's put him in.
Yeah, let's put him in.
Dude, Michael Jordan was gambling on basketball, bro. Like he's the greatest of all time.
Right, like, so just this idea, like, that the Hall of Fame is like all these sacred players, and they were held to such high regard. It's like, fam, no, they weren't. A lot of like you said, a lot of races, just a lot of woman beaters, like womanizers, like all these things. And you're mad at this particular era because we had some drugs. But most of the players in that era were already good.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bonds should have been in, but see, I started off thinking Bonds shouldn't be in. I was a firm believer he cheated, but then, like as you've both said, as the years have gone, I've come to terms with, you know what, everybody that's in there isn't like super clean and anything morally, ethically. Who knows what's in their closets? We just live in a technology era where it's more prevalent and we can see it up close and personal.
Yeah.
And that's what Barry Bonds has at fault. Yeah, did steroids help him? Yeah, he got bigger. He probably got, like you said, got off the field a lot, or got back on the field a lot sooner.
Right.
But but what, his rookie season, I think he had 25 home runs.
Hmm.
It's like you just see it right there. So I feel like uh last year I thought he should get in. This year it'd be horrible if he gets in or doesn't get in, and then A-Rod gets in after 2 3 years. Then that's at that point it's like we have to rethink the process of how they're doing the voting, because Bonds, home run king, he
Hmm.
has the most home runs. Uh, he's what, 7 time or 8 time MVP and
Ridiculous.
All Star,
Right.
11 time Silver Slugger. Like, are you
Yeah.
serious? Are we just gonna sit here and say no? You can't be in? No. So I feel like he deserves a pass and he needs to get in.